Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have all new Dollar Tree Valentine's Day DIYs to share with you. And of course, these are going to be really easy to recreate, and they're all going to have that really fun, romantic Valentine's Day feel. But before we get started, if you are new here, please do consider subscribing down below. I'm going to start the video off with a really easy 2-minute DIY. So all you're really going to need for this DIY is this free printable that you can find on my blog. I'm going to leave the link for it in the video description box as well as in the comments. And then you will also need one of Dollar Tree's glass vases. While printing this out, you're going to head on over to my blog through that link, scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to see the link. You can just click it and print it at home, but you do want to just be sure to set it to print as far as you can to the border of your page. If you have an option for that on your printer, I believe mine said print to full scale. So you just want to make sure that you're printing it as large as possible. And it is going to be a little bit too tall, so we will trim it down. But I did want to show you that if you want to do this DIY a little bit differently, you can just trim it down and then insert it inside of your vase. I wanted to put mine on the outside, so I just trimmed mine down so it was the correct height. And I'm just going to be taping it in the back. That way, after Valentine's Day, I can just remove it. But I really like the look of it. It has like that nice matte look. I did print mine out on cardstock. That way, it would just be a little bit sturdier. And it just has the phrase, "I will love you forever and always," going around the vase. I was just really inspired by the look of vintage love notes. I thought it would just be so romantic for Valentine's Day. Now I'm going to add in some faux florals that I picked up at Joann Fabrics. And finally, just to finish it, this chiffon ribbon. If you guys saw my Valentine's Day haul, this will be very familiar to you. But I picked up this ribbon from Amazon. I'm going to leave it linked down below. It was a lot more inexpensive than other ones I had been seeing, and it instantly adds so much romance to anything you add it to. I love how delicate it looks, and it's just really beautiful. I cannot wait to use this all over my home for Valentine's Day. And with the whole love note theme in mind, I wanted to create one more free printable for you guys. So you're also going to see this one in that same blog post that's going to be linked down below in the video description box as well as in the comments. But it is just this set of little mini love quotes from Shakespeare. I'm a huge Shakespeare lover. So I just picked 4 really fun ones for Valentine's Day. And these are just great to kind of lay out anywhere. If you want to create a little vignette or a cloche, these are perfect to add in there. I am so excited for our next DIY. It is one that I have been planning for quite some time now. I wasn't really sure how it was going to turn out, but I was really happy with the final result. So to get started, we're going to need a clean and emptied 2-liter bottle and some fabric. So this fabric here you can find at Dollar Tree in their crafter square, and one of these is perfect for this craft. You only really need one of them. This is how big it is when you open it up. The fabric that you choose just needs to be large enough to comfortably wrap around our bottle here. I'm actually going to be using some fabric that I picked up at Joann Fabrics because I just love the look of this one, but the Dollar Tree one would be perfect as well. So to get started, I just have to trim our bottle a little bit. I'm going to be taking this little finger knife here and just trimming off the top part. When I'm cutting it, I am trying to cut the back part slightly higher than the front. We're going to grab our fabric, and when we put our bottle on the fabric, we want to make sure that we are leaving a few inches on the bottom. Next, I'm going to show you a really fun trick, but this part is optional. So take your hot glue, make a line that goes all the way to the top, and you're going to see it instantly almost collapses inward, especially towards the cut portion. This is just going to give the illusion of the top of your bottle being in the shape of a heart. It's going to be easier to see at the end. So now I just wanted to show you how big my piece of fabric was. I would say anywhere from 14 inches wide to around 17.5 to 18 inches long should be good for this project. You are just going to cover your bottle with that fabric, and all the extra fabric that is on top, you're going to go ahead and just start to tuck that into the center of your bottle. While gluing the fabric around the bottle, you don't want to use your hot glue. It's going to be too hot for that plastic. So you just want to use double-sided tape, even sticky dots, or a different form of glue. I did use hot glue for the bottom though because that plastic is thicker. I found these Cupid ornaments at Dollar Tree and I figured that they would be perfect for this DIY. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut the string off of one of them and then grab more of that chiffon ribbon that I used in my first DIY. I'm going to hot glue it to the center of my ribbon and then just wrap it around my bottle and tie it into a knot in the back. Get really fancy here and add a beautiful bow, but I'm going to be adding some straps later, so I'm going to go ahead and just do a knot and trim off any extra ribbon. Now we have to get started on the arrows. To be using 6 of these wooden dowels from Dollar Tree, and I picked these up in their crafter square. So I'm also going to be using some feathers, and these are also from Dollar Tree, and these felt heart stickers. Instead of making 6 full arrows, we're actually just going to be creating the illusion of 6 full arrows. Only going to be making the top of 3 arrows and then the bottom of 3 arrows. I know it sounds a little strange, but I promise it will make sense. This is because we're going to be inserting a foam floral block into our little arrow quiver to keep everything in place, and this just makes it a lot easier. So to make the top of the arrows, you just want to take 2 matching stickers from those felt heart stickers and basically just stick them together on the end of one of your bamboo sticks. I made 2 white arrowheads and 1 pink arrowhead. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab some of those feathers, and I'm only going to be using the pink feathers from this bag. I was hoping I was going to have enough, and luckily I did. I ended up using about 2 feathers on each stick. So these are my other 3 wood sticks here, and I'm just using a little bit of hot glue to glue 2 feathers onto the back. Can go ahead and add Cupid's arrows to his quiver. So I'm going to be taking all 6 of these and actually inserting them into a small piece of foam floral block. This is also from Dollar Tree. I did this part off camera, but I'm doing my best here to try and show you what it looks like. Cut a small square off of the foam floral block, insert it into the bottom. That way all of my arrows could stay in the right spot. Now for the final step, I just wanted to add some straps to my bag, so I just used some of the nautical rope from Dollar Tree and hot glued 2 straps in the back. And this is how it turned out. This DIY was so much fun. I wasn't really sure how it was going to turn out in the end, but I think it just looks so adorable, and I love having it styled next to my little Cupid pillow. I love that one. I'll be sure to link that down below too if you guys want to check that out. This next DIY is my favorite from this video, so we're going to need some fabric to get started. I'm going to be using these 2 fabric pieces from Dollar Tree. These are in their crafter square, but any fabric will work for this. Just laid out both pieces of fabric, and I did have to run my iron over them. They were super wrinkly, but they're looking a little bit better now. And we do have to cut out some hearts. So I just cut out this paper from some brown craft paper. They sell it in a roll at Dollar Tree. I usually have it on hand. It works good for making a quick template. And now I'm going to go ahead and just trace that onto my fabric, and then I'm going to go ahead and just pin that fabric in place. So to save time while I am cutting it out, that's why I just went ahead and doubled up my fabric, but you can just do this in layers of 1 or 2. I just wanted to do all 4 at once. I did have some leftover fabric, but I'm going to go ahead and just put that to the side because I will need that later. If you are constructing your heart, you're going to have some options. So you can hand sew these, use a sewing machine, or do what I'm doing here, which is using hot glue. You can also use fabric glue if you prefer. And this is just going to be a no-sew method, but you can absolutely sew these if you prefer. I'm just going around my whole heart outline and just gluing the 2 pieces together, but I am leaving a small area, that way I can fill my hearts with some Poly-Pellets and polyfill. So when you are filling your hearts, you really don't need these Poly-Pellets. I just wanted to use these because I wanted to give my beanbag hearts a little bit of weight. So these are perfect for that. I really do love these for those types of DIYs, but they're definitely not needed. I will leave these linked down below. I usually order them from Amazon, and they come in so great for DIYs. But I just like to add a little bit of that first, and then I add some polyfill. You do have some other options if you want to add some weight to your hearts. You can use little pebbles or even some glass marbles. Once my heart was completely filled, I just hot glued it closed. And now this next step is optional as well, but it does add a really fun touch to it. I just like to go around the edges and just rough them up a little bit. It's going to kind of give them that frayed look. You can kind of see here it's a little bit smoother, and then over here where I roughed it up, it has that kind of really fun frayed edge. Even though I cut out 6 hearts, I only ended up making 4. I'll probably make the other 2 at some other point. And now we're going to go ahead and customize these. This is the really fun part of this DIY. So I used my extra fabric just to cut out some rectangles. And we're going to just customize each heart with this set of stamps. So this set of stamps is actually from Michael's. I will leave them linked down below, but they do sell these at a lot of different craft stores. We're going to be using these acrylic blocks, an ink pad, and some individual letters. If you haven't done this before, it is so much fun. In each pack, you get a full set of uppercase and lowercase letters, as well as some different shapes. So I'm just going to go ahead and just pick out my letters for my first word, and I wanted to keep it really simple. We're just going to do the word love. So I went with an uppercase L and then a lowercase O-V-E. And you will see that there's almost a grid system here on the acrylic block, so it lets you line up your letters really easily. Letter just pulls off individually, that way you can completely customize any word or name. And there is no adhesive, it just sticks to the acrylic block while you're using it, and then when you're done, you can just take off the letters, wash them with soap and water, and they go right back into your set. I did just dip my stamp into my ink pad and just used it on a piece of paper first to make sure I was happy with the arrangement, and then I stamped my first piece of fabric. For my next phrase, I wanted to go with be mine, and you will see that I am missing the E off of mine since you do only get one of each letter in the pack. So I'm going to go ahead and just put be mine minus the second E, and then once I had that one stamped on, I went ahead and just added my second E at the bottom. Third heart, I ended up doing the word cute, and then I think my favorite one of all was the fourth one. I decided to do XOXO, but instead of the O, I went with the heart shape that came in the set, and I think it turned out so cute. This DIY was really so much fun, and this part here, customizing them with the different phrases, was my favorite. I'm definitely going to be making more of these to hand out as Valentine's Day gifts in little packs. I probably will sew them in the future, but the hot glue does work as well. But I thought it'd be fun to customize the front with my friends' names. Attach each saying to a heart. I just used hot glue since we were doing a no-sew DIY. But again, you could absolutely just sew these on instead. And here's a closer look at how these turned out. Little beanbag hearts are just so much fun, and since you can customize them, the possibilities are endless. Instead of adding a little name tag to each one, you could just pick up some really fun, vibrant fabric and create little conversation hearts instead. This next DIY is going to be very similar to the previous one in the way that we construct it, so I am going to go through it kind of quickly because it is the same idea, but just on a much larger scale. So for this DIY, I'm going to need one of these pink fleece blankets from Dollar Tree and a pack of their heart ribbon. This lace ribbon was one of my favorite finds from Dollar Tree this year. I think it is just absolutely stunning. We'll definitely be adding it to some upcoming DIYs as well. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and open up our blanket. And I'm actually just going to kind of fold it on a diagonal. I want one corner to reach all the way to the opposite end. It isn't a perfect square, so you're going to see it doesn't line up exactly correctly, but it will be okay. It does have kind of enough area that will overlap. After you have your fabric folded in half, you want to go ahead and just create a heart cutout out of paper. Just use my roll of craft paper from Dollar Tree for this. And just like in the previous craft, I'm going to go ahead, just pin it to my fabric and start to cut out my heart. We did have our fabric doubled up. We're going to have 2 heart cutouts. I'm going to go ahead and just remove the first one for now. And I'm going to go grab that lace. Use this lace to outline my heart. And this is completely up to you how you want to attach it to your pillow. You can absolutely sew it. That probably is the better choice, but I am going to be using my hot glue for this for a no-sew pillow. If you are going to be using hot glue, I definitely suggest working on a piece of parchment paper just to keep your work area nice and clean, and use some type of finger protectors. I have my pink ones on here just to save your fingers from that hot glue, because when you are pressing the lace into the fabric, the hot glue can seep out. Once I had my entire first heart outlined in that lace, I grabbed my second heart and started gluing it on top. And of course, I am going to leave a small section at the bottom open. That way I can just fill it with polyfill. Did want to point out though that this fabric blanket from Dollar Tree does work well for crafts, but but it is really thin. So you might see it looks a little bit bumpy here from the polyfill. So if I could make a suggestion, I would say to maybe pick up some different fabric. Joann Fabrics has a really good alternative to this. You can just use their fleece fabric. It is inexpensive and would work great for this DIY. This next DIY is such an easy one and you hardly need anything for it. Grab a vase or a pitcher that you already have at home and some branches from outside. So I literally went right into my backyard and just found some really fun, interesting different branches and added them to my pitcher. Next, we're gonna need those felt heart stickers from Dollar Tree. And just like in the first DIY, we're gonna pick 2 hearts that match up and just sandwich them in between one of those stems. I added some hearts to the ends of a lot of the stems, but then I also did add some hearts to the center ones as well. And this DIY ended up costing me hardly anything since I already had these stickers from a previous DIY, and you get a ton of them in a pack. You get around 100, I believe. And the stems were just from my backyard, and the picture was one that I've had for years. I decided to just add some of that chiffon ribbon for a finishing touch. And that is it. It's so quick, so simple, and very, very cost effective, but it is a nice substantial size and definitely has that Valentine's Day feel to it. And that is everything for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed these all new Valentine's Day Dollar Tree DIYs. If you did, please do give this video a thumbs up and share it with a friend. If you are new here and not yet subscribed, I would love to have you join us by subscribing to my channel. And I do have brand new Valentine's Day DIYs coming up very soon, so be sure to come on back. Thank you so much for watching. To subscribe to my channel, you can just click on my picture right here.